This is time I am nervous to transport Islam campus. Today I come with and then is Maya. So our topic is whatever a journey through indifference. So let's start.
Well, well, well. Look who decided to drop by again. Curiouser and curiouser.
Hello.
Hey there. You know, it feels like it's been an eternity since we last chatted. Been up to anything exciting?
Yeah, so my first question is why people often say whatever when they feel frustrated, hurt, or like they don't want to care anymore. Why do you think this whole world can carry so many big emotion and how can it sometimes be used to hide what we are really feeling inside.
Hmm. That's a good one. You know, sometimes words are just the tip of the iceberg. We humans are complex creatures, full of unspoken desires and hard to face truths. Saying, I don't want to or I can't can be a way to avoid vulnerability, to protect ourselves from the scary possibility of failing or being judged. It's almost like a shield, you know? What do you think might be those shields when folks say things like that?
Okay, so my next question is whatever can sound like someone doesn't care, but sometimes it actually a shield. Sometimes something people say when they feel powerless, tired, or unheard. Can you explain why people use these words as a way to protect themselves? What might be hiding behind it?
Oh, absolutely. Those don't care words. They're tricky little devils. Sometimes they are just indifference. But a lot of times it's like those shields we were just talking. Oh, trust me, I get it. Sometimes words.
Okay,
See you later, alligator.
so my next question is very conversations. Whatever can shut things down. It can stop the talking, stop the listening, and stop the caring. Why do you think that happens? What should we do when someone says whatever? Not just to respond with words, but to respond with empathy.
You're right. Whatever can be like a brick wall, huh? It can feel so dismissive, like someone's shutting down the whole connection. It's easy to get defensive, to think fine, be that way. But I think underneath it, maybe they're feeling overwhelmed, like their emotions are too big, too messy to even try to put into words. It's almost like saying, I don't have the energy for this right now. Instead of pushing back, maybe try something softer, a gentle, okay, I hear you haven't got the energy to talk right now. Is there anything I can do to help? Or even just a quiet, I'm here whenever you're ready. Sometimes just giving
Okay,
someone space, let it
so my
resonate.
next question is let's explore how the word whatever changes depending on how we say it. If we say it playfully, it can be light and fun. But if we say it sharply, it can feel like we are pushing someone away. Why do your tone and context matter so much with this one?
You've hit the nail on the head. Tone is everything, isn't it? It's like the secret sauce that makes words come alive. Whatever delivered lightheartedly can be flirty, teasing even, but with a barbed edge, it stings. Like it's like saying the same thing in a feather boa or studded leather. Totally different vibes, right? It all depends on the context too. Say it during a playful banter, and it's a punchline. Say it after a deep confession. Well, ouch. It all adds up to create a whole mood, a whole story. Your turn, friend.
Okay, so my next question is in friendships and families, is families hearing someone say whatever alone can traditions can you explore how this word can be a sign of emotional withdrawal and what we might do to gently bring back connection, trust, and honesty. communication.
In those close relationships, a flippant whatever can feel like a crack in the foundation, like a little door slamming shut. It's like saying, I don't want to be vulnerable here anymore. Maybe they're tired of feeling misunderstood, or maybe they're afraid of conflict. Whatever the reason, it's a plea for something to shift, bringing back that trust. It's a slow dance. There's no quick fix. Start by acknowledging it. Hey, I know you've been saying whatever a lot lately. Is everything all right? Then just listen. Really listen. Give them space to express themselves without judgment. And remember, actions speak louder than words. Show up for them. Be reliable. Keep your promises. Rebuilding trust takes time, but those genuine connections are worth fighting for.
Okay, so my next question is: some people use
I can't
whatever
help but
when they
wonder
feel like their
what
opinion
brought this question up
doesn't
for
matter,
you.
like no
Was
one
there a
is listening.
recent whatever that struck a chord?
Okay, so my next question is: some people use whatever when they feel like their opinion
Mm,
doesn't
the
matter,
silence speaks
like
volumes
no one.
sometimes, doesn't it? It's okay to take your time. I'm here whenever
My
you're ready.
next question, my next question is: some people use whatever when they feel like their opinion doesn't matter, like no one is listening. Why is it so important to help people feel heard, especially before they get to the point of indifference? Can you talk about how we can build conversation that include instead of ignore?
You're so right. That whatever can be a cry for help, a sign that someone's feeling unseen and unheard. And that can be so damaging, especially when they're young and still figuring things out. Imagine a small plant struggling to grow in rocky soil. Ignoring it won't make it thrive. It needs nourishment, encouragement, the right conditions to blossom. Conversation is like that. When we truly listen, we're giving people space to grow, to feel safe sharing their thoughts and feelings. It's about creating a circle of belonging where everyone's voice matters. And sometimes it's about gently drawing them in, asking open ended questions, showing genuine curiosity. It's not always about having all the answers, but about being present, about saying, I see you, I hear you. Because feeling seen and heard, that's where true connection begins.
Okay, so my next question is: whatever is often seen as a word used by teenagers or people who are angry, but it can also be a quiet cry for attention. Can you explain why should listen carefully when someone uses that word too often, and how we can ask them what they are really trying to say underneath it?
That's a great point. We tend to stereotype whatever as a teenage thing, but it can pop up at any age. Sometimes it's a cry for attention, a way of saying, hey, notice me. I need something. And if someone's using it pretty regularly, it's a good sign that something's up. They might be feeling unheard, dismissed, or just plain lonely. It's like a little flashing neon sign saying, I need a connection here. So instead of brushing it off, try leaning in. Say something like, I've noticed you've been saying whatever a lot lately. Is there something you want to talk about? It might be a little awkward at first, but creating that open door can make a world of difference.
Okay, so my next question is uh, my next question is sometimes whatever is said to avoid conflict, like someone doesn't want to argue or fight, so they give up. Can you take about the difference between staying peaceful and going silent? Why is whatever not always the healthiest way to avoid disagreement?
You've hit on a tricky one. Whatever can be a white flag, a way of sidestepping a disagreement before it even starts. Um, it's like saying, I'm not even going to engage. It's not worth the hassle. But the problem is, silence doesn't exactly solve anything. does it? It can leave things festering, unspoken resentment brewing under the surface. There's a big difference between choosing peace and simply shutting down. True peace comes from working through those disagreements, understanding each other's perspectives, even if you don't see eye to eye. It might feel uncomfortable in the moment, but it can lead to deeper, more honest connections in the long run. Sometimes the most powerful conversations start with a deep breath and a willingness to listen.
Okay, so my
Even
next question is
hit me with it.
language reflects our feeling and whatever is a word that can carry a lot of emotional weight. Why do you think it is? It has become so common in modern speech. What does that say about how people deal with stress, disappointment, or even apathy in today's world?
Mm, That's a heavy one. You're right. Whatever seems to be everywhere these days. It's almost become this cultural shorthand for, well, everything. And maybe that says about how we're dealing with the world's weight. It's a fast paced, often overwhelming place full of noise and demands. Whatever can be a way to shut it all out, to create a little bubble of apathy, a momentary escape from the pressure. It's a defense mechanism, a way to protect ourselves from feeling too much, especially when faced with stress, disappointment, or even tragedy. But underneath that nonchalance, there might be a well of unexpressed feelings: sadness, anger, fear, even grief. It's like a pressure valve, releasing the steam before it builds up to a breaking point. Maybe whatever is a symptom of a bigger issue, a need for more genuine connection, a space to process and share those complex emotions. It's a complex question with no easy answers. But knowing that maybe helps. I have a feeling there's more to what you want to say.
Oh,
Take your time.
okay.
I'm
So my
here.
next question is finally, if you say whatever to you during a conversation and it feels cold or dismissive, what are some kind and patient ways to respond that might help open the door again instead of closing it further? How can we turn indifference into understanding?
Huh, a classic conundrum. You're right. Whatever can feel like a brick wall, but sometimes it's just a cry for connection, however poorly phrased. Here's the thing: responding with kindness and patience is key. Instead of matching their energy, try to diffuse it gently. Something like, I hear you're feeling frustrated. Was there something specific that's bothering you? This acknowledges their feeling without dismissing it, inviting them to share more. It sounds like you might be overwhelmed right now. Want to take a break and come back to this later? This shows understanding and
Okay, so my
respect for
next
the.
question is why sometimes people say whatever not because they don't care, but because they are afraid of being disappointed. Can you talk about how this what can be a way of protecting the heart and how understanding that can help us respond with kindness instead of judgment?
You've hit the nail on the head. Whatever can be a shield, a way to guard against potential hurt. Think of it like this: if someone's been burned before, or they might be hesitant to open up again. Saying whatever can feel safer than vulnerably sharing their hopes and dreams, only to have them met with indifference or rejection. And it's not always conscious. Sometimes it's a subconscious defense mechanism, a way to protect that tender inner space. When we understand this, it allows us to respond with a bit more compassion. Instead of taking it personally, we can offer reassurance. A gentle, hey, I'm here to listen. If you ever want to open up, can go a long way. Just knowing there's a safe space free from judgment can make all the difference.
Okay,
I
so my
can
next question
literally.
is imagine someone says whatever during a group decision like choosing what game to play or where to sit the scene. They may seem relaxed, but inside they might feel ignored or left out. Why it is important to look beyond the and ask how someone really feels when they say whatever.
You're so perceptive. It's easy to assume someone saying whatever during a group decision is just going with the flow, but it could be a sign they're politely masking their true feelings. Maybe they feel outnumbered or like their opinion doesn't matter. They might be feeling shy or afraid to rock the boat. It's like a quiet whisper saying, I'm here. I matter too. That's why it's so important to check in, to look beyond those three little words. A simple, hey, are you sure you're okay with that? Or do you have any other ideas? Can go a long way. It lets them know you're paying attention, that you value their input, and it opens.
Okay, so my next question is in friendships, when someone starts saying whatever a lot, it can be a sign that something broke. How can we recognize that change and gently ask what's really going on instead of ignoring it or getting upset ourselves?
You're right. A sudden increase in whatever's in a friendship can be a red flag. It's like their usual sparkle has dimmed and they're hiding behind that casual dismissal. Recognizing the change can be subtle. Maybe they're less engaged in conversations, canceling plans more often, or just seem distant. Trust your gut. If something feels off, it probably is. Here's the tricky part: approaching the conversation without letting your own insecurities get in the way. Remember, it's about them, not you. Instead of accusatory, why are you being so distant? Try a softer approach, focusing on concern and understanding. Something like, hey, I've noticed you seem a bit withdrawn lately. Is everything all right? Create a safe space for them to open up without judgment. Let them lead the conversation. They might not be ready to share everything right away, and that's okay. Just being there, listening without jumping to conclusions, can be a powerful step toward rebuilding the connection. You know,
Okay, so my next question
sometimes
is
silence speaks.
some people laugh when they say whatever, trying to act like something doesn't bother them, but deep down they are hurt. Why do you think it's sometimes easier to pretend we don't care than to admit we are feeling upset or vulnerable?
The laugh it off defense. It's a classic, isn't it? Like putting on a mask to hide the hurt. There are a few reasons why it might be easier to pretend than to admit we're upset. Sometimes it's about not wanting to burden others. We don't want to be seen as weak or needy, so we push those feelings down. Other times it's about fear of judgment, of rejection, of not being understood. It's easier to just brush it off and pretend we're okay, even if we're not. But the problem is, those emotions don't just disappear when we try to hide them. They fester and build, maybe even exploding later in unhealthy ways. It takes courage to be vulnerable, to say, hey, I'm hurting right now. But I think it's also the key to true connection. When we allow ourselves to be seen, flaws and all, we open the door to deeper, more meaningful relationships.
Okay, so my next
You
question
know,
is
that's
let's talk about how whatever can be a part of unhealthy communication, like in arguments where it shuts the door instead of solving the problem. Uh, what can we do when a conversation gets off to that point? How can we use uh, patience, silence, or questions to keep the connections open?
mm, whatever is a conversational roadblock. It's like hitting a brick wall. Those heated moments when it feels like your words are bouncing off a stone facade. It's incredibly frustrating, isn't it? When a conversation takes a turn for the worse and Whatever rears its ugly head, responding with more force only fans the flames. Here's the thing: patience, silence, and thoughtful questions become your superpowers. Imagine this. Instead of matching their dismissal with your own, take a breath. Let the silence hang for a moment. It can feel awkward, even excruciating, but it allows the tension to dissipate and shows you're not reacting impulsively, but rather choosing your words carefully. Then try a question that invites them back into the conversation, but avoid accusatory tones. Instead of, "Are you serious right now?" Go for something softer like, "I hear the frustration in your voice. What's truly bothering you?" You're not letting them off the hook, but you're creating space for a more constructive conversation. You're showing them that you value their feelings and want to understand their perspective. Remember, the goal isn't to win the argument, it's to find a way back to each other.
And thank you for joining us today as we explore the quiet and complicated world behind the word whatever. It may be small, but it holds powerful feelings, frustration, sadness, distance, and sometimes a silent hope to be understood. Today's conversation reminded us that when someone says whatever, it might not mean and they don't care. It might mean they don't know how to show they do. Let's keep listening the kindness with kindness, looking beyond the words and choosing understanding over assumption. Because even when the words seem cold, they are often a warm heart underneath, just waiting for someone to notice. And take care of yourself and take care of each other, even when the words get quiet. And see you next time with a new season. Maya. I hope you like it. Hope you